Hi there, everyone. My name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. We are getting into the wonderful season that is Halloween, my favorite time of year. We are now definitely in October by the time you've watched this. We've already started up the month with some Iron Maiden, Eddie, lovely ghoul. Well, we are now going to move on to another wonderful artist for this time of the year, or musical act, I should say. Black Sabbath. That's right. I haven't done Black Sabbath in a while. Last time I did Black Sabbath, it was the original Black Sabbath album, and I basically covered that one just so I could cover the Black Label Society Vertigo cover album of it. But I want to really get into some Sabbath. So we're going to do a triple shot of Sabbath. So if you're one of my regular viewers, this one's going to be definitely some Sabbath going on. And we are going to get into Sabbath Bloody Sabbath to begin with. Now, this one here is from when they did the reissues, where they digitally remastered everything. I'm not going to get into it too much, pulling out the stuff. That's some pretty cool artwork. I only got the single disc of this one. The only two albums where I got the extra discs, I got it for the Black Sabbath album and the Masters of Reality album, and I covered the Black Sabbath album. I haven't gotten to Masters of Reality, and that one will not be part of this. That one's a special one. So anyways, Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. Okay, man. Title track starts off the album, man, and that is the da 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 down 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 bow no no na 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 no wa na 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 yeah, okay, I know I'm adding my own little embellishments, but oh, killer riff, man. And I mean, I've learned that riff. I've learned quite a few of the Sabbath core riffs, especially those heavy riffer, man. Iommi is one of the reasons I play guitar the way I do. Not entirely because of him, but in my early days, Sabbath is what I studied. Iommi on guitar is what I studied for guitar, and I totally just dig me some Tony Iommi, man. Dude is the riff master. And Sabbath Bloody Sabbath is just where he lays it down heavy and good, and brilliant. And that's not to play down anybody else's parts, but that guitar riff in that song. Then you get a National Acrobat, and I really dig that tune. It's one of those songs I absolutely love the song while I'm listening to it, and I've even learned how to play little bits of it. I'm not very great at playing it, um, but wonderful, wonderful song, and I totally dig it. But it's not one of those songs you really kind of talk about too much. You know what I'm saying? From there we go into Fluff. And Fluff is, one of those little beautiful instrumental pieces you listen to and you just absolutely love and enjoy. And that's when you want to blow, back in the 70s when you wanted to blow mom and dad's minds, no, no, mom, listen. You put on this beautiful, beautiful part, beautiful music. And from Fluff, we go into Sabracadabra, man. Oh, man. Oh, what a rocker, man. If you cannot get your groove on and shake your tail feathers to Sabracadabra, man, you're doing something wrong, man. That song has got all kinds of groove on there, man. It's just awesome tune. And I really, one, it was obvious why Metallica picked that one when they chose to cover a song. And I understand why Metallica took out the part they took out, and then what was it? they put in apart from one of the other songs on this album later on, which is really cool. And I really dug the arrangement they did. But you're not going to beat the original Black Sabbath, man. Tony Iommi just laying it down. Gorgeous, beautiful song. I mean, oh. Now, Ozzy is not one of my most favorite vocalists, which is the only reason why I'd ever give a little more kudos to Metallica. And I know some people are blaspheming me right now because of that one. But the reason why I say that is I like James and the more deeper, more kind of voice he puts into it. Ozzy's always been a little higher than I like, a little more thin than I like. And both of them have, similar range. I know some of you are cursing me out something huge right now, and that's okay. I'm cool with that. But I love Sabracadabra, man. Ah, oh, great tune. After that, you go into Killing Yourself to Live. And Killing Yourself to Live, I absolutely, totally dig it when it's in here. And Sabracadabra going into Killing Yourself to Live, then followed into Who Are You? Wonderful assemblage of songs in that order, and so much power and everything, and just really, gets you pumped and going, and just puts you in a zone. It really does. Killing Yourself to Live on its own, great song with some great kind of changes up in there and moves around and stuff like that. And same with Who Are You? The two of them have some great changes and some mixes and some texturing and layering and stuff like that. And it's really cool, and I really dig it. Not for the casual listener, I'll be honest with you. Sabracadabra is where the casual listener would cut out. Then you get into Killing Yourself to Live, and Who Are You? Those are for, real fans. That's the meat and the bones, man. That's the stuff you really like, you want to hear. But if you're not a Sabbath fan, or if you're not into that style of music, and I'm not saying heavy music, like there's a lot of jazzy influence. You can hear the old school jazz influence and the blues, the heavy blues and stuff like that early Earth kind of, vibe in here. And it's really cool. I really dig it. That goes into Looking for Today. My problem with Looking for Today is purely Ozzy's vocals on it. I liked Black Sabbath. Obviously, to me, Black Sabbath is the original Four Guys. I'm one of those guys. I'm kind of a purist that way. However, Heaven and Hell, which we'll call the Ronnie James Dio era with Sabbath, deserves just as much respect, just as much praise, just as much kudos. The music that was in there was fantastic. And Looking for Today is one of those songs where I think Dio would have definitely given it better presentation than Ozzy did. I think it was a song that was released with the wrong vocalist. But that being said, I still refer to that as the Heaven and Hell period for a reason. I'm one of those. I'm sorry, folks. But there's other eras of Black Sabbath I know I have to get into, because I know I've heard some stuff that's just like, whoa, really? This is what I missed out on because, I'm so hardcore about, the original four. Anyways, Looking for Today, But then that gets into Spiral Architect, which finishes the album. And if I really had time to warm up and practice, Spiral Architect is actually one of those songs that I learned how to play early on. Now, if you're one of my regular viewers and you watched my review for Maggot Brain by Funkadelic, you'll have heard me talk about how the song Maggot Brain itself blew my mind when I heard it the first time, because the core riff that's played through it, the main vibe and essence that's played through it, is something that I had written on my own, never hearing it, and it totally blew my mind when I heard it for the first time being performed by another band that I never ever heard of before, blah blah blah. Okay, so the riff that I had written, believe it or not, was actually inspired by the intro of Spiral Architect, which was this little riff I had learned how to play. And then from there, I modified it to this other kind of song I was working on, which became what was this song called Come and Hang Yourself. It was an instrumental piece. And the way that the guitarist, my buddy Matt Kell, played it, it sounded like Maggot Brain by the time we were done. So, and as far as I know, he had never heard Maggot Brain either. So it's just an insane thing how, I started with a riff that was inspired by Black Sabbath, ended up with a song that sounded like, something Funkadelic released in its kind of core. But anyways, Spiral Architect is an absolutely amazing song. I'm surprised to this day that they chose to end this album on Spiral Architect, which there's nothing wrong with it. Spiral Architect is a great song. Ending the album on Spiral Architect totally works. I'm not going to say it doesn't work. I'm not going to say anything negative to harsh on it. It totally works to help close this. But I almost want to say that they should have went Fluff and Sabracadabra to end it, possibly, or even use the title track at the end. I'm not sure. Now, Sabracadabra, Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, those are definitely the two big standouts on here, without a doubt. Spiral Architect is another one, too, that really should be more prominent than it is. And I think Sabracadabra is only as prominent as it is because of Metallica, which, speaking of those two songs back to back, it is Spiral Architect they took part of when Metallica did their cover of Sabracadabra, when they took out what James calls the hippie trippy section and they wanted to insert something else in there. It was actually Spiral Architect, part of Spiral Architect they put in there. Spiral Architect is a great song, man. It really definitely inspires a lot of stuff. This is one of those albums that it is a fantastic album. I really do believe that, if you are a music lover, if you are an early metal lover, you really should have this album. I think the average listener would enjoy it. To me, the weakest point on this album is just Ozzy's vocals. I would really love to hear renditions of this album. I seriously, I think Dio honestly would have done this album better. And I think that is, for me, the biggest takeaway from this album is Ozzy. He was the weakest link on this album. If it were not for Ozzy, this album, if it were not, obviously, if it record sales show that Ozzy is, where this album would have succeeded theoretically. But I really do believe that if they had if they had pulled a Kiss and redid this album except with Dio on it, I think it would have been a better album. Anyways, those are my thoughts. Those are my views. Tell me what you think. That's what the comment section is for. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. That always helps me out. Otherwise, peace, love, and take care.